Hey there, I'm Corbin Burnson from Earth, and you're listening to Cinescape on Toxic Radio.
Welcome to the Cinescape Podcast. We're changing the landscape of movie and TV news and reviews. Happy Saturday, everybody, here from a dark, early night here in Westville, New Jersey. I am Sean Harrigan, joined, as always, by the newlywed Bill Rowdy Tazzy.
Woo!
Billy is back with us as usual. El Nino is gone.
What happened to that
He's
guy?
been kicked out of the country. His green card has expired.
Yeah, that's a shame.
We're also joined here today by a very special person near and dear to our hearts. This is the sponsor of the Cinescape. This is Andy Watsky of Alternate Dimension Toys. Hey, what's going on, Andy?
Hey guys, thanks for the opportunity having me on today.
Absolutely.
It's a pleasure. Thank
So,
you.
as always, our show today is brought to you by Alternate Dimension Toys. Make sure you stop into their Newtown, PA location for the largest collection of Funko Pop figures anywhere that you could ever imagine. The store is fantastic. We're going to be talking a lot about that today, as we do have Andy in here. But we'll get to that in a little bit.
Yeah.
We also are supposed to be joined by a special guest calling in around 5:25. Hopefully he remembered. He is a part of Netflix's The Punisher series. His name is Kobi Frumer. He is the son of David Lieberman / Micro on the show, so he's going to be calling us a little bit later, so stay tuned for that. Bill, what's going on?
Yeah, not a whole lot. It's Saturday. It's the we got just had Thanksgiving passed. How was everyone's Thanksgiving?
Mine was great. I'm still digging into the
Still
leftovers.
stuffed.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. How was yours,
You
Andy?
doing the double where you got to go to the one family and the other, and you're driving all day?
No, we didn't have to do that this year on my side, which was great.
We hosted this year, so.
Nice.
But you know
Got to
what?
sit in my pajama pants all
You know,
day long.
as you get older,
That's the move.
as you get older, the one thing that rivals a good Thanksgiving dinner anymore is the first dump you take after after the Thanksgiving dinner. It's you gorge for hours on end. You're watching football. There's a lot to take in, and just being able to undo the belt and the button on your jeans and just unleash an unholy hell on the porcelain is
Unstuff the stuffing.
yeah, it's really there's not too many finer things in life other than that, but
Hopefully there weren't any children in the store
Hopefully.
at that point.
yeah.
Well, they did it too.
Yeah. It's only human. It's only
Admit
human
it.
nature.
Bill, can I ask you to hop over and grab one of those posters?
Yeah, absolutely.
Bill is going to retrieve a poster that we're going to be putting up to the camera here. Bill, hold that up to the camera, please, if you guys can see that. This is a Justice League poster. We are going to be talking Justice League a little bit later tonight. But what we are doing, we are giving away 3, not 1, not 2, but 3 of these beautiful Justice League posters in a new giveaway contest. And this is how you can win. The other day I had posted a contest page on both our Facebook page and thecinescape.com. Hopefully you check that out. But the way that you can win this one of these 3 posters is by going over to iTunes, finding us on iTunes, just type in Just Cinescape, give us a rating, give us a review, take a screenshot of your review, and post it to our Facebook page.
Yeah.
The people that do that and the ones that we think are the best reviews, we are going to award you one of these posters. If you are chosen, you will be send a direct message on Facebook to where you can pick up your poster, and we're going to be having that pickup location at Andy's shop and Alternate Dimension Toys. So a little back and forth here, self-promotion.
A little co-promotion.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's going to be great. It's going to be fabulous.
It's going to be great. So many great things are going to come out of this. And there's only so many things that I could talk about, but I won't talk about them right now.
Right, so make sure you go over on the iTunes, give us a review, post that screenshot of the review to our Facebook page for your chance to be entered into this giveaway. With all that out of the way,
Yes.
do we want to get into, what do we want to get into, Bill? Do we want to talk about Andy first? Do we want to
let's talk about Andy.
Before we get into the bulk of our show, we do have Andy Waskey here of Alternate Dimension Toys. He is our show sponsor, like we said. We're very happy to have gotten him in here. Andy, tell us a little bit about your store, what you're all about, and some of the upcoming things that you have going on.
So we have my family. We own a toy store in Newtown, PA, like they mentioned. You know, we predominantly sell the Funko Pops,
Right.
You know, but it's our goal when we first opened it was, you know, we're big fans of Comic-Cons.
Yeah.
We've gone to Comic-Cons forever,
Right.
and we wanted to just bring a small slice of that into an actual store.
Yeah.
So we kind of made, you know, we've got graphic novels and action figures and blind boxes, but the Funko Pop is kind of what we've been known for, and it's really taken over our store.
Yeah.
And we specialize in the hard to find ones, a lot of the retired, the vaulted ones, the exclusive ones. That's, you know, kind of what, you know, you can find the common ones
Right.
wherever. You go to Target, and, you know, we were talking off air, you know, some of them you can find for $2.
Yeah.
You know, they're handing them out the door. So we try to find, you know, those really hard to find grail ones, so to speak.
Yeah, and you know, going into the store, and I was in there late last week, and you had just gotten a
Your dad bought one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know,
your dad's got all the Godfather.
yeah,
Just
and you know what?
Godfather,
That's
yeah.
you know, and that's the cool thing is that, you know, you had just gotten a shipment in and stuff like that, but to backtrack, you know,
Huge shipment.
huge,
Yes,
huge.
massive. Yeah.
And you know, I was out shopping in the mall last night, and you know, I had cruised through FYE and Hot Topic, and you know, they have you know, their own exclusives and stuff. But I had ran into in each store, actually, I had ran into people that were, you know, browsing through the shelves, and you know, it's you know, it's a, you know, collectorship that's taking place right now that, you know, everybody, it's, you know, it's got its own culture to it, and it's got its own you know, fan base. And I was, you know, asking these people that were looking at stuff on the shelves, you know, I just started asking, hey, is there something you're looking for in particular and stuff? And it was cool because each person I had talked to were new to collecting. And when I was in Hot Topic, it was a young guy and his girlfriend, and they were, you know, talking about how they just started getting into collecting.
Yeah.
And you know, you ask, you know, hey, are you using the price guide, the pop price guide? Because it's not only for values, but, you know, able to put your collection together and, you know, see who's got what, and you know, it's really cool. And, you know, you talk about, you know, like my dad, you know, somebody who's in his 60s, and, you know, there's, you know, you take the genre of things that he likes, and, you know, for him it's The Godfather. So I mean, he, you know, when I told him, you know, Dad, they got these you know, they got the Funko Pop figures that I collect, but, you know, they got the whole Godfather lineup.
Where else could you get like a Godfather? Like you love a property so much, and you want to have something on your bookshelf,
Right.
what would you get from the Godfather?
Yeah.
You know, so it's cool that they go from all these generational
Yeah.
properties and different things that you can collect, and we see it from young kids to you know, older, you know, adults that
Yeah.
you know, that come in, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Early 30-year-old men. Bill, you had mentioned the Pop Price Guide website.
Right.
I just brought up my account.
Yeah.
The number of pops that I currently have sits
Yeah.
at 125, and the total estimated value is $1,284.
Yeah,
myself.
I have about half of
Sorry,
that.
honey. I know you're watching right now.
Just to
great.
just to pale in comparison here, I am at 63. Estimated value 761.
See, but you got to start somewhere. So
Right.
you're on a. You know, as soon as I walked into your place earlier, you know,
Yeah.
the first thing I saw, I'm like, oh, he's catching up.
People come in and they show me their, you know, their guide list all the time, and
Yeah.
I've seen them in the heavy
Yeah.
thousands.
Right.
Some of these collections, people started on day one.
Yeah.
With these, and your eyes just pop out of your head. You're like, "What? You have that one?"
Yeah.
Because there were so many that they made in their early days.
Right.
That you can't even. They're impossible
Now,
to find.
let me ask you. You're in the business, and I'm sure you've had people that just like how there's record collectors and stuff like that probably want to get rid of their collection. Have you purchased any collections through just through the process
Every
of
day.
things, and were you astonished by some of the findings of what were in those collections?
It's kind of the model that we've decided to go more on, less directly through the company Funko. As I mentioned before, you can find that stuff anywhere. More from collectors, and whether it be a life event or they're just not interested in collecting, which isn't always the case. We do buy them off other people, and it's what keeps us in business, and we're real appreciative of the fact that people will give us a good deal, knowing that we sell them and stuff. So there are some in there, and it's the hard part is I want to keep this.
Yeah.
I want to take this one home. This one I need, and,
Yeah.
and it's definitely difficult.
Right. But then you wouldn't be in business. If
Right,
you were,
I know. That's why I go
keeping all
home and
these.
I open a closet and they're filled in there. I'm like, oh, these aren't really doing anything for anybody in here.
Yeah.
Not to digress from the conversation, Andy, your wife just found the live stream. She was just messaging us on Facebook.
Good.
So, hi, Kristen.
Welcome.
She was getting a little upset. I can't find it. We're here. We're glad you're here too, Kristen, and everybody else that is in the chat. Make sure you're staying very active tonight because we are going to be looking for some more interactive folks because we're going to be doing not only just our Justice League poster giveaway, but in the coming days this week, we're going to be announcing some other giveaways that Andy's going to be helping us out with. So if you are somebody that is a regular commenter or poster or fan of the show that's largely interactive, we're going to be looking at you to give you some cool things heading into the holiday season.
We'll make it a nice surprise.
And
Absolutely.
Andy, why don't you fill us in? Something that you've been doing for some time now with the business is the trade nights that you've started. Why don't you give us the lowdown because you have one coming up soon, and
we do.
Go through how that impact that you've had.
Yeah. So this is actually will be our 14th trade night.
Wow, already?
Yep. When we first opened, it was something, as you mentioned before, the community, the fan community is fantastic. And we wanted to do events where people could come and bring their collections and maybe trade out ones that they don't need or try to upgrade to, trade a multiple for something really nice. So when we first started doing them, our store it's fairly small. We had it in the hallway.
Yeah.
This is the first one. And then we moved to the falafel place next door. And he almost killed me. He thought we were going to collapse the floor. And now across the street is the Temperance House, which is an awesome place. And they have like a banquet hall in the back. And we rent that out.
Yeah.
And what people do is they just come and they bring their collections, set up tables. It's all free. There's no charge to get in. And everyone is super cool. It's family friendly, so kids come and they make trades, and you can really swap out not just pops but action figures. One time, a guy brought a whole collection of Dragon Ball Z statues.
Oh wow!
And he traded those for the set, the SpongeBob pop set, which is a hard to find set. And people bring mystery minis, and we do trivia giveaways. We'll be giving away prizes. We might have a little mystery box thing that we might do this weekend. So they're a ton of fun.
Very cool. Last time that we were there, I saw somebody trying to give away one of their children. Now, is that a trade that you take?
It probably was me. Yeah, you can trade virtually anything. Probably anything living would probably be off the table, I would suspect.
Now, for everybody listening at home, just one more time, give everybody the time and date for the upcoming.
The event will be at the Temperance House, which is literally right across the street from the store. They begin at 6 p.m. Nobody can get in until 6 p.m. and then we open the door, and there'll be plenty of space. We're working on maybe doing some different things with the tables, but we'll make sure everyone is comfortable and has room. It's a no-selling event, but you can trade and do whatever you like, and it goes generally until 10 o'clock at night, and we'll have specials in the store, and it's a fun time.
Awesome. Bill and I will be in attendance. We're going to have a little table set up, so make sure you come over and say hi. Maybe we can hop in on the trivia that's going to be going.
Yeah, absolutely. Did you mention about the prize for trivia?
So we do a variety of prizes. We do, the thing is, there's never any obligation to purchase anything, but
Right.
we put out a lot of money for these, so we like to make it worth your while. If you come over and stop over at the shop and check it out, maybe there's something you're interested in. We always give away a $100 gift card to the store for purchases made. And then we give away a variety of Funko Pops. Last time we gave away some like really cool Transformers graphic novels, like hardcover. We had the hat that Marty McFly wears in Back to the Future.
Nice.
We had one of the we have a wealth of stuff that will be giving away for this holiday one for sure.
That's awesome.
We have Aaron Benjamin in the chat right now saying, we love the shop and the trade nights. Thank you, Aaron.
Oh, hi, Aaron.
Make sure you stop in this coming Saturday.
nice. I like
She's
her.
nice? We
Yes.
like Aaron.
Yeah, and you know what was cool? Just a quick throwback. When I was talking to those noobs that I spoke to in the stores yesterday, is being able to tell them about your store. Because these newcomers come on board and they're shopping in the retail stores and stuff like that. But to get the experience, in a store like yours, it's truly immersive. So being able to tell them, hey, listen, you got to check out my friend's shop. Right there, being in Ox Valley Mall, I'm like, hey, it's literally 10 minutes from here. Go right up the road.
Well, thank you
and you
for
got to
doing
check
that.
out his store. It's a new town, and you're in a spot too where it's you're a toy store in Newtown. Obviously there's a lot of neat boutique type shops in there.
Definitely.
So to have a store like yours, in town like that, and to be immersed in the culture and then into the fandom like that, it's fun. So being able to tell people to
You're definitely getting people in there that are your kind of people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, and those corporations, they're fine, they're awesome.
Right.
You can get a lot of exclusives and stuff through them, but we like to get to know everybody that comes in. We greet everyone that comes in because we genuinely enjoy what we're doing.
Right.
And we're, especially a day like today, that's Small Business Saturday, we're just extremely thankful for people that do shop in our store, and we greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, definitely. If you're in the store right now, you're listening to us as well. So if you're in the store right now, hi everybody, and maybe we'll
Hopefully
see you
it
next
is
Saturday.
packed right now.
Yeah, make sure you buy something. All right, well, Andy is going to be here with us throughout the entirety of today's show. We are going to get right into our TV buzz. So, we are going to flip things over. Well, I mean, we're not going to flip things yet, but we're going to get into this week's TV buzz, where we're going to highlight the biggest news stories and get into some reviews, because I definitely want to talk The Punisher. Sad one here to start out, Bill. You want to start this one off?
No, you started off. You were dying to.
So I don't mean to be.
Did you get that?
I don't mean to be offensive, but yes, I've been dying for this one. The Partridge Family star David Cassidy has passed away at the age of 67. A statement from the Cassidy family reads, "On behalf of the entire passing of our father, our uncle, and our dear brother, David Cassidy." It's Jamie. Can you pull Jamie? That's better. Let me start that over. On behalf of the entire Cassidy family, it is with great sadness that we announce the passing of our father, our uncle, and our dear brother, David Cassidy. David died surrounded by those he loved, with joy in his heart and free from the pain that had gripped him for so long. Thank you for the abundance and support you have shown him in these many years. Cassidy had been hospitalized for several days before his passing with organ failure. Andy, I'm going to throw it over to you. Were you a Partridge Family fan?
I was not.
You were not?
I was not. It was on, around me, but that wasn't my thing. I'm
You a Brady Bunch guy?
That sort of thing ain't my bag,
I
baby.
was more of a Brady Bunch guy.
Yeah, I definitely was a Brady Bunch guy too. I mean, I'm a little bit younger than when the Partridge Family and Brady Bunch came out, but
Partridge Family
seeing
was
it in
a little
reruns
before
and
me as well.
everything. Bill, anything to add to Come On Get Happy here?
No, I mean, same thing. I wasn't a big Partridge fan. I know a lot of chicks back in the day swooned over him. So, I guess
It's a heartthrob, Bill.
Yeah, heartthrob, teen heartthrob. But Yeah, no more throbbing.
Oh.
But moving on, upcoming Lord of the Rings TV series has been confirmed to be a prequel series. Details on the series were released via a press release, which reads, set in Middle-earth, the television adaptation will explore new storylines preceding J.R.R. Tolkien's The Fellowship of the Ring. The deal includes a potential additional spin-off series. What do we think about a Lord of the Rings television series?
I mean, this is pretty interesting that it's going to be, in between Hobbit and Lord of the Rings. I mean, with J.R.R. Tolkien's
Is there a lot
expansive
of material written Tolkien?
I
material
had seen
from that
something
time?
the other day that they might be adapting parts of the Silmarillion as part of this show. I mean, it's not really a story per se. It's kind of more like a guide, I guess you could call it. But I mean, his world is so expansive and immersive that there's so much material that you can draw from there. I'd be interested to watch it. What do you think,
Oh,
Andy?
absolutely. I mean, those are magic words in nerd world. Lord of the Rings. You kidding me?
We're playing Harry Potter.
Nerds!
Bill, are you interested in the Lord of the Rings prequel TV series?
To be honest, no. It doesn't really do much for me. I never really got onto the Lord of the Rings bandwagon. If I had to split my my allegiances, I would be more of a Harry Potter fan.
Oh.
So, I don't really, don't really have any curiosity towards it.
I mean, I enjoyed the Lord of the Rings films. I mean, I'm probably not as big as a fan of them as Andy is. I mean, they're fine. They're fun. They're long. But, when it came to the Hobbit trilogy, that was just mind-numbingly boring for me. And I have the book. I read the book when I was a kid. Especially the way that they drew 3 movies out of one novel.
It was a little much. I would agree with that.
I'd say so. But I think especially George R.R. Martin and J.R.R. Tolkien, they're very similar in their storytelling. That something like this is probably better suited for a long-form TV series where you don't have to try to cram everything into 3 hours and then have 19 extended endings for
DVD. I live in the fantasy realm. Those are my favorites. I mean, I'm a massive Game of Thrones. The books, I love the books. I love the show.
Too.
And Lord of the Rings, I also loved the books and the show and the movies. So, and I play Skyrim, which, is also similar. I start talking with a British accent. I play it so much. So I love anything that comes from the fantasy world. So I'm definitely super excited for that.
Right, definitely.
Hopefully there's pops.
We'll definitely keep you guys updated as more news about this series is revealed. Bill, read our next story, please.
Yes! All right, so... hold on, let me use my scroll bar here. I gotta scroll down.
Oh my god.
Hulu has picked up a Hitman series adaptation, teaming up with Fox 21 and John Wick creator Derek Kolstad to adapt the best-selling video game from the IO Interactive. This will be the third attempt to bring the acclaimed series to life. After 2007's Hitman and 2015's Hitman Agent 27, we have Hitman.
I'm not really looking forward to this one. The game is fine. The movies have not been good.
It's just another attempt of a video game adaptation and trying to hit the big
suck.
screen.
Has there
and
ever been a video game adaptation that's been any good?
Mortal Kombat.
the first one.
All right, well, we are going to end our TV buzz here. We are going to get into our Punisher review in just a few minutes, but right now we actually have a cast member from the show on the line right now. Now, you guys might know him better as Zach Lieberman from the series. We have our very special guest. This is Kobi Frumer. Kobi, how's it going tonight, buddy?
Hi, I'm good. Thanks for
right.
having me.
Yeah, thanks for calling us, bud. So, like I just said, you played Zach Lieberman on the show. You are David's son. What did your parents say about you being part of, such a violent show?
Well, my parents know that this was a dream role for me because ever since I was a little kid, I was always obsessed with superheroes. So they were pretty cool with it.
Okay. While we're on the topic of superheroes, who would you say is your favorite superhero of all time?
My favorite superhero? Well, I can't choose only one because I have so many that I love.
Give me your top
Punisher,
three.
Punisher, of course, Deadpool,
Good
and
answer.
Captain America.
Okay.
All
Deadpool,
Marvel.
Captain America, all Marvel. Now, are you a DC
I
fan
have
at
some
all?
DC also.
Okay.
Yeah, I also have some DC favorites.
All right. Well, we won't talk about them since you're on a Marvel show. Bill, you want to ask Kobe our next question?
Yeah. Hey, Kobe, this is Bill. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well, thanks. So let me just get my notes here. I think I'm having a little trouble finding my questions. So let me ask you, what was it like to work with actors like John Bernthal and Ben Barnes?
John and Ben are both amazing actors. The entire cast was great. I really learned a lot from working with them.
Awesome.
What were some of your favorite parts of working with the cast?
Mostly the stunts.
Mostly
They were
the
my
stunts?
favorite.
Yeah. Now, did you get to do any of your own stunts, or did they have somebody come in and do stuff for you?
I got to do almost all my stunts except for one stunt because I got to do a lot of punching.
Okay. I bet that was
cool.
pretty fun, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. How did you, when you first got the role, what did you do to prepare for it? Did you read some of the comics? Did you, watch any of the other Punisher movies? What did you do?
Well, I was already familiar with the comics. I'm sort of an expert with it, but I didn't know much
okay.
about my
Nice.
character because he wasn't really in the canon. So I asked my mom to email the showrunner, Steve Lightfoot, and he sent us all the background information on Zach Lieberman. It really helped me to understand where Zach was coming from and why he acted the way he did.
Wow, that's a great answer.
impressive.
I want to stick on that for a minute. Now, your character on the show, he's going through a really hard time with his dad being, presumably dead, and the interactions that you have on the show with your sister and your mom, were really intense. How did you find inspiration for that? Drawing from things maybe in your own life.
Well, I sort of just had it as Zach Lieberman because I knew I had to channel someone else. I mean, I don't really think of acting as being someone else, really. I really feel it as an extension of myself.
Okay, yeah, that's a great answer.
So it was like just my bad self.
Yeah, just your
Everyone
bad
has
self.
to
Now,
know
is it more fun playing, a kid with kind of an attitude who's more of a bad boy, or is it fun playing somebody who's a little bit, even tempered?
It's definitely more fun for you and tempered. Yeah, I mean the other one.
Yeah, playing the bad boy.
one, sorry. Yeah.
I'm sure. What would you say was the most challenging part of filming your scenes during this first season?
Well, some of my scenes were filmed outside in the middle of winter,
Oh,
so it was tough being outside for so long without a jacket because Zach doesn't really wear one.
no, where did you
Like,
guys
for one
film
of the
at?
scenes in New York City.
Okay, yeah, I bet it does
Like
get
some
cold.
of the scenes I was throwing a football with John's character. It was the coldest day of the year. My hands were so numb. I had a lot of trouble throwing and catching the ball.
I can
Luckily, the
imagine.
amazing crew was there with
Yeah.
hand warmers and hot chocolate in between takes.
There you go. There's
Nice.
always a payoff
perks.
there. So, like you said, you're a big Marvel fan. Who would you say, or what is your favorite Marvel movie? It doesn't have to be any of the Marvel Cinematic Universe right now. It could be any Marvel movie that's ever come out.
Probably Captain America: The First Avenger,
Okay.
because it was just a great origin story to tell about Captain America and how he's so awesome. I mean, he showed how he was the same person trying to help people with and without his powers.
Yeah.
But I'm also looking forward to see Black Panther.
Yeah,
I know,
Black.
we
Yeah,
can't wait.
We think that's going to be, really switching things up here in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It definitely looks like it's going to, kind of change the tone of what we've seen up to date. As far as Marvel movies go. Kobe, did you get a chance to see Thor Ragnarok?
Yes, I actually just watched it a couple days ago.
Yeah,
And it was really good.
You liked it?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Did you see Justice League too?
I saw Justice League, but I didn't think it was that good because they really changed the forming of the team, how Steppenwolf instead of Darkseid.
Yeah. That's an interesting take there from you. You know, we're going to be getting into those reviews, coming up a little later. So hearing your take on it, we're going to get into some of these reviews. So I appreciate your take on those. Before we get wrapped up with stuff here, I want to ask you too. Have you watched the full season of The Punisher yet?
I actually just finished watching episode 10 today.
Okay.
I was watching it. We all love this show.
Awesome. Yeah. Do you have a how do you feel about watching your own performance? Are you like your own critic in that sense, or do you like watching yourself on the big screen?
I kind of find myself overly critical of myself because I always feel like I could have done better.
Right.
After the fact.
Yeah, I can understand.
It's like when we go back and rewatch the shows that we do, and then we see how dumb we look.
Yeah.
We pick apart, our moments here on the show. Kobi, we have our guest here and sponsor and friend. Andy Waski. He owns a toy store called Alternate Dimension Toys. You can check him out on through our Facebook page as well. But he predominantly sells a lot of stuff that you'd be interested in. He sells graphic novels and comics, action figures, and predominantly he sells the Funko Pop figurines. 2 questions: Do you collect any of the Funko Pop figures currently? And would you like to see yourself become a Funko Pop figure?
Definitely, I would like to get a Funko Popco of myself. Of Zach Lieberman, I mean.
Yeah.
But I have a couple in my room.
Okay.
I don't really collect. I got them from Marvel Studios. They invited me over to their headquarters. So.
Which ones do you have?
I have one of them is a different version of the Punisher. I have a Hulk one and a Scarlet Witch one.
Nice.
Very cool.
Awesome.
Impressive.
What are you going to be appearing in upcoming either movies or TV that we can see you in, Kobi?
I'm about to start recording my cartoon, Nella Princess Knight. We're starting to record season 2. It's on Nickelodeon, Nick Jr. And other than that, I can't tell you the other stuff that I'm doing right now are sort of in the works.
Okay.
Top secret stuff, yeah.
All right. Well, we're going to let you go, Kobi. We just wanted to thank you so much for calling in. We loved seeing your performance as Zach Lieberman in Season 1 of The Punisher. I absolutely loved that entire season. And thank you so much for calling in, buddy.
Thank you so much. I had a great time.
Thanks,
All
Kobi.
right, we'll talk to you soon. Kobi Frumer, everybody. Thank you. That's refreshing to hear, an actor in the business, but especially, a little guy. He's very candid about, like the question that
he's sharp, very very well spoken. I mean, not that I wouldn't have expected him to be, but just kid knows his shit. Let's face it.
How he go about, that as a youth getting on a show like that. The process.
But I mean, to be in a show of that violence, that caliber that's being projected, and to be a youth, an adolescent, and to remove yourself, from that mindset. Obviously, like you're in a very graphic show like that, and to be a child in the show, most would probably think is very tough, right? Mm-hmm. But to be somebody of his intelligence, obviously, and to be smart about what you're involved in, and being able to remove yourself and be professional, it takes a lot of skill set, obviously.
Absolutely.
So I mean, wishing Kobi all the best and all the success in the world, and
absolutely,
I'm sure we'll see him again in the future. So thanks, Kobi, for taking the time out today.
Yeah, that
Hopefully,
was
we
awesome.
get you on here again soon.
Maybe if he gets his own Funko Pop, we can get him to sign one for Andy.
Yeah, right.
I do collect the signed ones.
You should have enticed him. Hey, I'll send you some Funkos. Come out to Newtown and join us.
Yeah, one time.
Yeah, very cool. If you guys, if you have checked out The Punisher season 1, you obviously know who Zach Lieberman is.
Zach.
His character on that show, definitely could get you very angry the way that, some of his temperaments are. But if you're a parent, it's not going to be anything new. Definitely a lot of fun watching him in that season and having him call into our show. With that, I do want to talk about The Punisher.
Yeah.
Bill, how many episodes have you checked out?
I only
so far?
got 2 into it, but
Okay.
I gotta say it's right off the bat action. It's in your face. The story, is pretty cool. It's really grounded in that New York setting, like Kobe was saying, and we get to see the Punisher. Really punishing is the best way to put it. I mean, some of the action shots are, you're like, it takes you back. You're like, whoa, holy shit, that's going on Netflix. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
Definitely hard R.
yeah, hard R.
Andy, I know that you have not checked out any of The Punisher yet because you're not really a fan of these Marvel Netflix series, but
What derailed you, Andy?
It started with the second season of Daredevil. I just couldn't watch another ninja fight in a dark alley. I think the episodes are too long. Luke Cage bored me to tears. And I was just like, I think I prefer my superheroes a little bit more supernatural.
Yeah.
And I like the grittiness and the realism of it. But to me, they need to be shortened to like 10 episodes.
Yeah.
And, give me your best 10.
well, I mean, they did 8 episodes of The
And
Defenders.
I heard that wasn't even that
and
good.
I was very disappointed in that. Speaking to our special guest from the actual series, entice you any more to check it out?
Absolutely. I mean, he was very impressive. I think Punisher was, in all that Marvel TV, he's been the coolest part of it. I like Daredevil too. We met Charlie Cox at a Comic-Con. He was like the absolute nicest guy we've ever met. He's so cool. But the Punisher is awesome.
Yeah.
So, I probably will, but I have that OCD where I feel like I got to watch everything. I don't want to miss any kind of veiled references to anything.
Yeah, there really aren't any.
Nothing. It's standalone.
There's
stands alone.
maybe 2 or 3 different things that tie into Daredevil, but other than that, I mean, you can go into this series fresh, never have watched any of the other series, and be totally fine. I did watch the entire series. I have a review up on the Cinescape.com right now. You guys can go check it out. But I absolutely loved this series. The first 2 seasons of Daredevil for me were, top notch. I echo your sentiments, Andy, with Luke Cage. The Defenders wasn't very good. Jessica Jones was all right. The first
10 episodes.
The
Should've
first
been.
half of Luke Cage was pretty good.
Yeah.
Iron Fist was
Yeah, it was
but when we first
Ward
saw,
Meacham.
when we first saw John Bernthal on season 2 of Daredevil, come into the fray, immediately people were up in arms. I want a Punisher series. He needs his own standalone. And everything that we got from this series was just balls to the wall. Kick you in the face,
Right.
An adrenaline rush, and it was just awesome
Sounds
to
cool.
watch.
Because did you watch any of Daredevil?
I've seen both seasons of Daredevil.
Okay,
I like Daredevil.
Yeah, because I mean, I only got a little bit more than halfway through the first season of Daredevil, and I never got into the second season. Just there's just so much content out there that I just never got on board. But what
Son of a
but what did happen was I forget who it was. It was either you, Sean, or Pat. One of you guys was like, just watch this scene from Daredevil season 2, and it was the prison scene with John Bernthal just destroying,
people.
shanking dudes, and I was like, all right, I'm on board with this,
Yeah.
and Punisher is a series where you can have that gritty, realized based, type of show, and get away with that. I do understand your point to, a little bit more supernatural in that sense, but
But with the series like this, for me, it's really such a counter to the types of the movies that we're getting. With Thor and Guardians 2 this year, it's just so far away from what I really love about my superheroes. I don't want them, and we're going to talk about this when we talk about Thor in just a little bit. But I don't want my characters cracking jokes every other 5 seconds, and the stakes not being high, or even if they are, they're making light of the situation every 5 seconds.
Well, Sean, this is then the perfect time to segue into the reviews for. Do you want to go into that route real quick, and then?
Do you want to do that now, or do you want to do news first?
Let's go right into that, and then we'll pick up with the movie.
We'll get into our reviews first. We're gonna segue to our Guardians, same movie anyway. Thor Ragnarok. Like I was just saying, it's these lighter, fluffy, stupid, goofy movies that we're getting. That seems to be the flavor of the week now from Marvel. When I saw Thor Ragnarok, like a month ago now. I was so incredibly angry when I left the theater because this is one of the movies that I was most looking forward to this year.
Me too.
Taking from the source material and what everything was building to with Infinity War just around the corner, and what we got was Guardians of the Galaxy 2 with Thor characters in it. It was just joke after joke after joke. And when we actually did get setups for some of the darker and more cool things happening, there was a joke right after. Or they didn't acknowledge the Warriors 3 were all killed in this movie. Not one word of acknowledgement about it. Nobody gave a shit. Odin just vanishes and dies. Nobody really cared. Thor got a little angry at Loki, and then they never talked about him again. Hela's killing people, and then she sits on her ass the rest of the movie and doesn't really do anything until she fights Thor again at the end for a minute. Just the way that these Marvel movies are going with this humor, and that's not to say that they can't have humor. I wrote a big piece about this on our website, of the overuse of humor in these films. That's what made the MCU what it is over the first decade of their existence. Blending the use of humor within the action and the cool mythology of these characters is what makes them special. But when you're just hitting us over the head with it just gets so dull and just takes me out of these movies.
Yeah, and when you look back at the movies that you talked about that started it all, when you talk about Iron Man, when you talk about Captain America, and you look at the humor that was in there, like obviously. The character that Robert Downey Jr. created with Tony Stark, he's a sarcastic prick, and that's just in his nature. So naturally, you're gonna expect some snarky remarks from somebody like that. Going on to Captain America, here you have basically a dweeb that gets an experiment done to him that causes him to become jacked. And in that, that first movie, it was, more, romantic, witty comedy that was, between him and Agent Carter. So, the type of, humor and banter that was there was more, flirtatious in a sense. So, it played to the tones of the story. And then you fast forward to, the present date, and Guardians of the Galaxy, took everybody by surprise and, turned a franchise that was, largely unfamiliar to a lot of general audiences.
Probably
and
99%.
Yeah. and made it pretty much, the favorite of the bunch. And, the first Guardians I absolutely enjoyed. I think, I think the humor worked well because
you didn't know who these characters were,
right? And the one thing that I've said about the team ups of Marvel movies is that the thing that works with the storylines and the reason why you were able to have weak villains at time was that you had internal conflicts between these team members where they had to put their shit aside and work together and reach for a common goal. That's why Avengers worked well. That's why Guardians of the Galaxy, the first one, worked well. Even we'll get into it, but even Justice League in reference, worked well. But then, when you have Thor Ragnarok, where you're right, you introduce new characters. There's this whole setup of a new storyline. There's certain things that are going to be answered with Hulk and stuff like that, and you have Hela coming in, and just everything was a joke.
It is.
Everything became diluted. And, Kate Blanchett, I thought, I was like, every time I'm like, wow, first off, she still looks, hot. She's in a skin-tight suit. She's got the smoky eye makeup, and I'm like, yeah, this chick's pretty hot. You know what I mean? Even my wife said it. Sam was like, wow, she looks hot. I'm like, I agree. I'm glad you said it first, so I can agree with you. But, I thought her performance was strong. However, it got laid to the wayside because, the moment,
she's an afterthought.
Yeah, the moment danger takes place, the moment something menacing is about to happen, it's, a dick joke. It's a fart joke in a sense, to paraphrase here. Same thing with Loki. I mean, the guy has probably been the best villain to
in
date,
the first one.
In the MCU so
And
far.
now he's been relegated to just a side joke.
Exactly. And I mean, he was a joke, and so, even when you are getting to that climax point of the movie where, okay, everything's going to unfold here, you couldn't take anything seriously because they were making a joke about everything. And the thing that was great about, Thor earlier
Was when it was over.
Well, in general, I mean, the fun part about Thor, going back to, his first movie and Avengers, was that he was the fish out of water, right? He's, a god, godlike being from another, realm, coming to Earth, and, he just doesn't fit in, which was funny. And I mean, the humor that he had in this movie, would, in a progression of a character would benefit him, would work. However, it kept going. It was like a Benny Hill joke that just wouldn't end. You know what I mean? Like, and it just kept going. And so, for me, I thought this movie had so much built-up potential to it, and it just, poof.
Yeah. Andy, you've seen Thor Ragnarok.
I have.
What's your take on it? I know earlier you said that you enjoyed it.
I did enjoy it for what it was, but I do agree with the reliance on the humor aspect of it. And I think that the problem starts with these movies are created in focus groups and between the head honchos of the studios and the actors themselves. Hemsworth has come out and said, I was tired of the character.
Right.
So let's crush what's most popular, the hammer, and let's cut his hair. They're having so much control, and it's changing the core of the character.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that's what can be frustrating for diehard fans of the character in the comics and the movies. But as a 2-hour movie where you can go, shut your brain off, laugh a little bit. I mean, Korg was pretty funny. He made me laugh a little bit. I enjoyed it, but I do agree with the sentiment that if you're going to rely on the humor aspect of it too much, you're right. I mean, where's the sense of urgency when you have this villain that's, basically they destroyed the entire homeland.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, we'll end like this. And
there's like 50 people.
Yeah, they destroyed
isn't this an
Asgard
entire
in like
planet?
8 seconds.
Just fit them all into the bridge of some ship.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, it's pretty absurd. So, that's where I'm at. A balance would be ideal.
Yeah, and Bill, going on your point to the progression of a character, I think it's the exact opposite of what we got.
Right.
Because
a regression.
We got progression from, not only the first Thor movie up until Age of Ultron.
Yeah.
Thor left the scene so he can go discover, the truth behind the Infinity Stones.
And you know what?
And now he's back, and he's just a bumbling idiot.
Yeah, and you know what? We got a caller on the line. 1 second. But we all saw Justice League, right?
Yes.
And you know what? When towards the end of Justice League, and we'll have to dive back into that. But I thought, Aquaman is like the Thor of DC, and towards the end of that film, you saw Aquaman speak up and be a leader and show emotion where, earlier in the movie seemed like a tough, emotionless brute that was, just, kind of, looks and muscle, which, is basically Chris Hemsworth throughout the, early stages of...
But my wife said he's still hot, though.
But you know what? He showed emotion towards the end of the movie where he spoke up, amongst the, the other, Justice League members and showed emotion and came out of his shell a little bit. And I would have wanted to see more of that kind of persona, out of Thor. You lead a planet, you lead a realm, and you're here on Earth and stuff like that, and you're like show emotion in that sense, not so much like show emotion. Oh, I can be funny too, like my Earth friends who are my coworkers. Like, great, no, like, but just be bigger than what you are. But
really pisses me off to no
it does. But Jamie, we have a caller on the line, correct? Let's put him in.
All right, we
Put him
have
through.
our Cinescape correspondent and trivia show host, Pat Mahoney, on the line. What's going on, Pat?
Hey, what's going on, fellas?
So we talked a little bit of Punisher a little bit ago. We had the actor who plays Zach Lieberman call in for an interview. We had a great interview with him. Now we're talking Thor Ragnarok. We're trashing on this movie.
Oh, God.
What did you think about Thor Ragnarok?
It's funny. I love hearing that emotion from Bill Tozzi because I think 6 months ago on episode 18, the guy got all up in my face for me saying that the movie was going to be a complete joke. And what is it? It's a complete joke.
I did isolate that
there.
clip.
I'm proud.
I isolated that clip of Bill, going off on his
that's right,
speech.
Yeah.
So what were some of the things that ticked you off about this movie?
Well, first of all, I don't want to completely trash Bill because I agree with what he just said. Like, it's just, to me, it's just so stupid. Like, I have so much to say on this topic, and I do. We talk about it throughout the week and whatever. It's just, I don't understand why it's got to be funny. To me, it just comes off like they're not taking their material seriously, and they're just trying to gain maybe a new audience. Okay, but that's just going about it the wrong way.
Right.
Like, it doesn't make sense in the context of the movies, like you guys were just saying. Like, here he is on Earth, and he's like, fine, he's normal, he's trying to, figure out what's going on, I got to do this to save this, and then you take him out and put him in some stupid planet, and he's like a frat boy. He's like a bumbling fool, and he's just a completely different character. So what are you going to do now? In the next movie, is he going to show up? Is he going to be joking around the whole time? Or is he going to go back to Avengers 1 Thor? Or Thor the Dark World Thor? Or is he going to be Thor Ragnarok, rad dude joking around, fart jokes Thor? You know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't fit. It's just so out of place. It's like me trying to remake the movie JFK because it's too dark and make it into this big murder mystery. Let's make this murder mystery. Oh, who killed the president? You know what I mean? Like,
was it the 1987 Denver Broncos? Was it?
It's stupid. Starring Bill Tozzi in the murder mystery caper you have to see. JFK.
Rated
you know
R.
what I mean? Like, rated R. Like, it's just so stupid. And I don't know why people bash Justice League, because I think collectively all of us really enjoyed it.
Yeah, let's get into our Justice League talk.
I really have so much more to say about Thor, but I mean, I think you guys already know, and you probably touched base on most of it.
Yeah.
But like as you said, I mean, I think Justice League was a way more enjoyable movie.
It definitely
Thor
was.
Ragnarok.
I'm going to throw it over to Andy here first. Andy, what were your impressions of Justice League?
Well, I'm a DC guy.
Yeah.
First and foremost, more than Marvel. I like the darker tones. I might be the only one. Batman vs. Superman, I liked it. Man of Steel.
I like the director's cut.
Man of Steel is one of my favorite superhero movies. I liked.
That was good.
And Justice League was the same. To me, if they feel rushed a little bit. Pardon me. Like, there's not a lot of, they haven't done like how Marvel does, where they've slowly built up the characters and they did their movies first, and then they, joined at the team film.
Yeah.
So there's some rushing of it, but I still like it. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And, I'm looking forward to more, especially that end scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was...
The teaser
that got
scenes,
me,
you mean?
Yeah, I thought that got me really excited.
And you know what? It's funny because DC was actually able to put in 2 teaser scenes that trumped what Marvel has lacked in teaser scenes over the past couple movies that have come out, in terms of not only... just either in terms of follow-up to things that took place earlier in the film itself, but also in terms of setting up future films as well.
You didn't like Grandmaster plopping down and then maybe getting killed by all those cronies?
Oh my God, it's embarrassing. Right? But I mean, spoiler alert: the teaser scenes. I mean, we got one. We got one where Flash and Supes go and race each other, which
iconic
is iconic race. And then
who do you think won that, by the way?
I don't know.
Yeah, that's Soup all the way.
We're gonna have to put a
that was one of the best scenes in the movie.
Yeah.
when they were fighting Superman and Flash they kind of made a little eye contact there.
Yeah.
There's no way that Flash doesn't win this.
Right.
He can travel through the Speed Force.
Ragnarok, it would be a big joke.
Yeah.
He travels through the Speed Force.
Yeah. I mean, maybe we'll have to put a poll up on the page. Who won that race? And then the other teaser scene is setting up Deathstroke.
Yeah.
I mean, and
the Injustice League.
And it was so perfect in the sense that you have, Lex Luthor sitting on a boat, and you got Deathstroke coming up, and he looked sharp in his costume. It was, looked very, true to the tone.
It looked good.
Yeah, and Joe Manganiello, I didn't even recognize him at first. Just looked flawless, and it was just enough. To get the point across and get you psyched for what's to come. And one thing I also like too, a little change, but it's subtle, but it made a difference. Was the changing of Superman's suit, the blue. Did anybody notice how it was more true blue this time around versus the other versions? And you know what? And that goes.
It wasn't the black suit for sure.
No, that. But I mean, in Man of Steel and BVS, his suit was that more dark navy. This one was a lot brighter, a little bit more of that true blue. And I think, that subtle change, definitely has an impact. You don't really think about it, but psychologically, it. Just the brighter tone, makes it more appealing, and it gives you more of that positivity that Superman stands for.
Hope.
Yeah. And that was one of the gripes with some fans out there and critics was, Man of Steel and BVS is, Superman had a more darker tone to him, and it didn't really feel like that true to self Superman. So it's kind of funny how just a subtle change like that and a little bit of demeanor change brings Superman back to the truth and justice.
I think there's a conspiracy in the blogosphere and with critics that it's a vast Disney.
Pat will agree with you because
yes, I honestly do. I think the Disney minions they want nothing better than to take this DC universe stuff down. And they flood like Rotten Tomatoes and these other websites and stuff like that. And it's frustrating because these movies are good. They're entertaining. It's a darker tone. I like them. I think they're good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I completely agree. Yeah.
I don't have much negative feedback on the movie. I mean, some of the CG was not the greatest. I mean, Cyborg, for the most part, didn't look all that great. Steppenwolf should not have been a CGI character whatsoever. He definitely could have been practical effects more so than CG.
He looked pretty decent, though, I thought.
I mean, as a villain, I think...
CGI motion capture.
Yeah, but I just don't think you needed to be a full CG character for that.
Well... Well, Sean, real quick, I mean, does this movie deserve worse critical praise than Batman Forever? Because Batman Forever has higher, like, that's what doesn't, like, I think we touched on that the other day. Like, that's what doesn't
Batman
make
Forever
sense
is a
to me.
higher Rotten Tomatoes score than Justice League.
Like,
Wow,
give me
that's
a break
incredible.
with that. Like, so,
Yeah, that's not.
yeah,
that's
like,
not
you
right.
know, you were right about, there's definitely something going on in the world of critics
Mhm.
where either they have different expectations or they're just trying to see something different out of these movies, and that's why they're praising Thor Ragnarok for its stupidity, basically, because it is something that's different from the mold. But the fans in general aren't really warm to it. You know, like, there are a lot of fans that like it, but a lot of people I see with comments and who I've talked to, like, really don't like it. It's stupid. And I don't know. I just kind of wish that – actually, I don't wish. I think DC deserves a much better reception than what it's getting right now as far as Justice League is concerned. And it just really doesn't add up to me. So
Yeah, I mean, and a lot of the numbers are deceiving too because it's projected to have less than a 50% drop at the box office this weekend, which is a really good sign, and it's absolutely crushing overseas too. I think it's the second biggest release in China this year.
In Brazil, it was like immense.
So, you know, don't be misled by some of the numbers that you guys are seeing out there online. You know, don't just look at Rotten Tomatoes. You know, look at some of the other sites that are out there like Metacritic and things like that, to where you're getting a better a better feedback from the fans as well. And check out a site like boxofficemojo.com because they have the deeper numbers that you're actually looking for. But I mean, like I said, I don't have much bad to say about this movie. It was a really enjoyable time. I got out of it what I expected, what I wanted, and I think they set up a lot of great things. Leading the formerly DCEU, whatever you want to call it now, further, with the post-credit scenes, with Easter eggs from Green Lantern, with the setup for...
Yeah, I liked seeing that little... it was teased, but seeing the little Green Lantern tease in the beginning.
And they did a good job setting up the other upcoming standalone movies, too, with The Flash and his backstory with his dad, Aquaman, Cyborg. I'm all on board. I don't want Suicide Squad 2, so they can just cut that out.
I gotta say, my only few gripes were, Steppenwolf. I will say, the CG wasn't, perfect with him. I'm always going to take a practical effect makeup over CG. I mean, it's just, you know what you're going to get out of something like that. I mean, there's nothing, better true to
And,
tone.
there's a lot of cut out parts of this movie, too, because DC, Warner Brothers, mandated a 2-hour release time. But I was reading online some of the scenes that were cut out, and a lot of the stuff regarding Steppenwolf and the mother boxes, which would have added a lot more to the film and made some of that stuff make more sense, on what the mother boxes actually are and, yada, yada, yada.
that did need some more explanation, Sean. I agree with you on that.
Trimming down time for time's sake and getting the movie in more theaters as possible, that has an effect on it. So, if this is anything like the rest of the DC movies, we're going to get an extended cut.
Hopefully so, because I agree. The mother boxes could have been, could have had a little bit more backstory to it. Steppenwolf got introduced, right up front, blam in your face. But however, I feel like, that took away from the, from the ending a little bit. I thought the end battle was a little anticlimactic in some ways. Just it felt very, rushed, and to your point of getting the 2-hour time limit in there. The movie, went effortlessly, I would say, for 2 hours. So in that regard. I felt like it could have maybe gone for an extra 15 minutes and, maybe been able to clarify some points there.
Yeah, but as we wrap up this review, the film set out to include all these new members, working together as a team. They had some infighting, they had some really great, dialogue with each other. But ultimately, they united the league, the 6, not the 7, and they did exactly what you wanted them to do. And I'm very much.
And the humor wasn't distracting.
It really wasn't, and
right?
Especially with movies like Suicide Squad that we've gotten before. I'm more so optimistic about the future of DC than I was before.
You know what was distracting was all the superheroes had an exaggerated cock piece.
I thought you were going to say the gratuitous ass shots of Wonder Woman.
No.
Oh, I'll take that all day.
Well, Sam did point out that the gratuitous ass shots of Wonder Woman, where she's wearing the leather pants. You
can see her thong.
Yeah, a little faux pas. She's wearing a kind of like a granny thong under there, where it's you see the wedge under there. So, shame on her. But yeah, gratuitous cock pieces for the superheroes. I mean, it kind of was like Batman Forever a little bit.
All right. Well,
terrible.
with that, we are going to end our review portion of the show. Pat, thanks so much for calling in and sharing.
Yeah, I got to. No problem, man. I wish I could have been there today, but I got my Mannequin 3 fundraiser that's back on.
All right. Well,
you got your niece's third birthday party this year.
Nah, it's the Mannequin 3 fundraiser.
Okay.
But, trying to get the show back on. Man.
Gotcha.
Well,
good luck with that.
I'll try to catch you guys later.
All right.
Thanks for having me on. As I said, I wish I could dwell on it more, but I will be talking to you guys soon. So.
All right, buddy.
Good.
Have a good night.
All right, take care.
Yeah,
all right. Well,
so we're are we running into quick overtime?
We're just
here?
gonna go over very
we're gonna
quickly.
we're gonna
throw
run through some stuff
We're
here.
gonna throw Jamie some extra loot after the show because he's a
cocaine.
trooper. I didn't bring any of that with me.
You can keep the
time.
cocaine. I don't do that.
Oh, okay. Well,
He doesn't do that anymore.
All right, it's just testing the waters.
All right. We're going to flip the script here and change the focus to film news.
Yeah.
Bill.
Yeah, let's jump right into it. So Paramount has hired scriptwriter Gary Dauberman to pen a script for a feature film version of the, get this, classic Nickelodeon series, Are You Afraid of the Dark? Ooh. Dauberman has written scripts for films like Annabelle Creation and 2017's It. So how do we feel about, Andy, I don't know if you watched this growing up, but, Nickelodeon, this show was, one of the, staples of my childhood growing up.
It was a core essential 90s Nickelodeon
absolutely,
show.
Growing up, it was Nick at Night on, Snick
Yes.
on Friday nights on Nickelodeon. And you had Are You Afraid of the Dark? These were the, scary
campfire stories.
Yeah, scary campfire stories for, for adolescents, teenagers. And you know what? Some of them were pretty creepy and scary. I gotta say.
Can you remember any of those stories, like off the top of your head, or the premise for them?
There was the I forget the name of it, but there was the one with the jester, and he had the blue goop coming out of his mouth. I remember the there was the one where it had the shop owner, the guy that owned the little magic shop, and I remember
he popped up a couple times,
right?
Didn't he?
Do you remember his name though? It was Mr. Sawdough. Accent on the dough.
Yep.
And he
remember
was,
now.
he was a weirdo, but that was funny.
I remember the one where they put the people in that room with the slow spinning fan and the gargoyle statue in there.
Well, do you
to,
remember
your fears?
Do you remember Gilbert Gottfried was on an episode of Are You Afraid of the Dark where he was worked in a movie theater or something, and there was some kind of portal that he managed. He was the guy who was the gatekeeper for this afterlife portal, and he was like, "You want to go into the portal?" Shouting at kids, "You can't come in!" It was so funny. But I don't know how this is going to turn out.
I'm digging it.
Yeah.
I'm all about it. I can't wait.
Let's see what we got there. Moving on.
A report from the Wall Street Journal cites that an animated Super Mario Brothers movie is currently being developed by Illumination Studios, the same studio behind the Despicable Me and Minions movies. Andy, what do you think about an animated Super Mario Brothers?
That sounds like something that would be successful, I would think. They haven't had any other movie property, have they?
What, Mario Brothers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, not the live act. I'm talking animated.
Not animated. They
yeah,
had
no,
that
I've forgotten that.
1993. Stinker.
I think your wife's on the phone.
Uh-oh. My lovely wife is on the phone.
We
Hello,
have Crystal
honey.
on the line.
Crystal. Are you there?
Hello.
I'm here.
There
I'm
she
here.
is.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Crystal, what did Sean do now?
Okay. Well, no, he didn't do anything.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
However, Tazi's wife and I,
Yeah.
we kind of want to challenge these guys to trivia at some point.
Okay.
Oh.
Do you now?
So, so we just wanted to put that out there, that we're ready and we want to take you down.
Okay. All right.
The challenge has been put down.
Yeah.
Challenge
What
has
do
been laid
you
forth.
think about this, Jamie? Our wives want a shot at the belt.
I want to
we
see
don't
it.
even have the belt. But
I want to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
All right. Well, here's what I'm thinking. How about next show?
January 19th in the squared circle.
Well, I mean, it'll be December 9th. I believe that's our next show, December 9th.
Yeah, in 2 weeks.
Yeah, 2 weeks from today is that day.
Okay.
Big difference.
Month.
Crystal, if you and Samantha are keen on this idea, you can challenge Bill and myself, and we will make this happen.
Okay. I hope you're not too scared.
Hi, honey.
I mean, I'm pretty scared because I think it's a lose-lose situation either way.
Well, it absolutely is a lose-lose.
I'll take
situation.
Sarah Jessica Parker
Correct.
movies for 100.
I don't even like Jessica Parker.
I'll take Kate Hudson movies for 100.
I'll take This Is Us trivia.
Yes, I will kick your ass in This Is Us trivia.
Bet you will.
Andy, let me ask you: is your wife, versed in movies and nerd
Definitely.
culture just
Yeah.
as you are?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, well, how about we have like a
Some of her tastes
a
are
six-man tag?
Oh, if this was a
We'll get Andy and his wife Kristen.
fatal
here.
three-way here.
Okay. What's her name? Kristen?
Yes,
Kristen, yeah.
You
She's
need
Alright,
to put
Kristen.
Freddie Prince Jr.
She's
for
at the
Summer catch.
Kristen's at
That's
the
her
shop
speed.
right now, Crystal. Why don't you call up to the shop and
Go buy me some bobbleheads.
yeah, buy some pops
I'm
while
not
you're there.
buying you bobbleheads. We have 1 million of them. We have our life savings invested into bobbleheads. We are not
Smart.
buying any more.
Crystal, did you hear the value of the pop collection earlier?
Oh, I sure did, and he's not kidding.
So if
It's-
push
it's
came to shove,
scary.
let's say you needed $1,284, and Andy's willing to strike a deal with you, right? And
I'll give you 400.
Andy, I need more than that.
Are you telling Sean to move over and get rid of him?
Oh yeah, absolutely. If we need the money, we need the money.
Right, like if there's this brand new
I'll sell a kidney first.
brand new GE washer and dryer out there that makes slushies and you can watch TV on, you're gonna get it.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's definitely much more worth it than staring at these toys. Yes, I said toys.
Toys.
In our house, this this giant tower of toys in our house. It's a tower.
I like that.
It is a tower.
I like
It's-
that.
Yeah.
I believe that.
That's the rightful
Yeah,
display.
You
this
walk
is
you
Andy's
walk
fault.
into
Gotta
his
have a tower.
you walk into his third bedroom, which is
the man cave.
the man cave, and it's probably a 9x10 room, maybe something like that.
Yeah.
And I mean the wall, it's from floor to ceiling.
It's like
the
7
whole,
rows deep.
The whole wall is just
That's,
Oh
that's
my
the
God.
move.
yeah. So
It's
you
great.
know,
But wait, I have to tell you all a secret right now.
Uh-oh.
do
Here we
you
go.
want to
Guess
know
where-
a secret?
Guess where I'm at right now?
Where?
You better not be in there.
In his man cave.
Ooh,
Uh-oh.
What are you-
Oh yeah. I've taken
Skeet-
over.
Making a
skeeting
mess
all over
again?
the place.
What?
Are you skeeting all over the place?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Cool.
I'm doing whatever I gotta do.
Oh, no.
Just hang out. You were talking about Thor, and things happen.
Oh.
So
Yeah, great.
you know.
Sean, you've been ousted.
Thanks, Chris
The
Hemsworth.
Thor pop has been defiled.
All right, honey. Well,
Thor pop?
we're going to get done here. I'll see you in a little bit, okay?
All right, get ready for the challenge.
Make me a sandwich.
Have dinner ready for
Oh,
me.
hell no.
All right, bye, hon.
All right, bye, guys.
Crystal,
ya.
I'm looking forward to this. So it'd be nice to meet you.
Yeah.
All right, awesome.
I'm gonna love this.
All right. We're gonna wrap up here. This has been a really, really awesome show. Just a couple other things of note. We're not even going to elaborate on. I'm just going to tell you. Sony has a Morbius Living Vampire movie coming out. James Franco has been cast as Multiple Man in a new Fox X-Men universe series.
Wait, is that
film? Sorry.
Is that the scary looking one?
No, he was actually in X3 for a small part.
Oh,
But
okay.
it's
I want to see that new scary looking.
that's
yeah.
New Mutants.
Yeah.
That looks awesome.
We also got upcoming Halloween film from Danny McBride and David Gordon Green. Delayed. Unfortunately.
Lizzie Kaplan has joined the new Gambit film, most likely playing the character of Belladonna Bedreau, though there are rumors that she's going to be playing Rogue. And Wonder Woman 2 has changed release dates, moving up 6 weeks from its original December 19th, 2019 release date to November 1st of that year.
Gratuitous ass
Gal
shots.
Gadot and Patty Jenkins will return. And DC's Jeff Johns has come out to say that Batman will be appearing in the Flashpoint film, but it's not clear which version of Batman will be in it. It could be an alternate timeline version where Thomas Wayne is Batman instead. And
Is that the Jake Gyllenhaal they've been talking about?
Yeah, he's rumored to be replacing Ben Affleck should he leave. So that's all we have for you guys today. We wanted to thank not only Andy Waskey for coming in and hanging out with us today. Thank you very much for coming in.
Thanks for having me, guys. This
Any
was a lot of fun.
last words you want to tell our guests where once again where they can find you?
You can stop into Alternate Dimension Toys. We're in Newtown, 16 South State Street. We're on Facebook and Instagram, and thank you guys, both of you guys, Sean and Bill, for having me on.
Absolutely.
Really appreciate it. Look forward to seeing you guys next week at the Trade Night.
Trade Night next Saturday, December 2nd in Newtown.
We also wanted to thank the Punisher's Kobi Frumer for calling in for an awesome interview. Kobi, we loved watching you on that series. We look forward to seeing you in the future. Thanks for our other callers, Cinescape correspondent Pat Mahoney, and my own wife, Crystal, for laying down that husband-wife tag team trivia challenge.
Yeah, it's going to be happening, I guess. What we're going to have to do is find somebody to be a neutral referee and make up the questions.
Sounds like a job for Pat.
Yeah.
And to our esteemed producer, engineer over there, Jamie, for hanging with us tonight. Thank you very much, Jamie.
No problem, fellas.
All right. We will see you guys again in 2 weeks. Have a great rest of your weekend, everybody.
Take care.